What's happening, guys? Back at you with another video, and in this video I'm going to be giving my review on WandaVision. So WandaVision just finished its series finale. This series just finished, or the season finished. We're not sure if we're getting a season 2 or not. Be interesting to see what they can do with the season 2 if we do get one, like end up getting one in the future. It'll be interesting to see how they progress the story with that and all that, with the way Wanda is and all that. But we'll see how that goes with that. What I want to say about this show was, with the way Marvel is, like now, like not nowadays, but the way Marvel has been with its cinematic universe. Like it's been, you know, blockbuster caliber type movies and all that. Like since the beginning, for past more than 10 years already, you know, it's been blockbuster hits and all that. All these movies and all that that's been going on. So to take this show the way WandaVision is and put it out there, in my opinion, was a bold move by Marvel, because it's not your typical kind of Marvel kind of show. It's not your typical Marvel thing that you would see like in a movie. Like the way we got it was kind of a bold move for Marvel to take, because this was definitely like something that was majority of people that I know usually pretty much liked it for the most part. There was other people that may not have been on board with it, or didn't like it as much, but majority have liked it from what I've seen. But it still was a bold move to say for Marvel, with the way their Marvel movies are, the way the movies are set up, and them being blockbuster kind of, you know, some high action stuff like that kind of stuff, and then to take this show that was completely different from anything we've seen from Marvel and to put it out there for people to see was definitely interesting. It's definitely a bold move to do. But honestly, like me personally, I did like the show. For the most part, I did like the show. The way they set up the first few episodes, where there were like sitcom kind of episodes, you know, like from like each decade. They did like 50s and 60s and 70s, 80s, so on and all that, you know. Each decade was like pretty much a progression through the decade. For each episode was like a different sitcom kind of level. They'll do like pretty much, you know, stuff from sitcoms from that decade. They did. We started off like in the 50s, and then each episode went on from there, like a new decade and a progression throughout the show for the first few episodes. So I mean, like, watching the show, we knew that there was like something else happening. Like they gave little hints in the first few episodes. Like we didn't know exactly what's happening, but they gave little hints. But other than that, it was pretty much like a sitcom based kind of story in the first few episodes. And honestly, it was interesting to see. It was actually kind of cool, kind of funny stuff that we've seen in the first few episodes. But once it got on, after that, like pretty much after the first few episodes and like pretty much the second half of the series, we start getting into the kind of you know, it starts taking off. We start getting into the actual plot of the show, what's happening, what's going on, and then it started getting more interesting after that. Like, you know, seeing the stuff in the first few episodes, the sitcom kind of stuff was funny and kind of cool and stuff like that. But you know, when it started picking up and stuff like that, it gets more interesting and starts picking up in the later half of the series. And like, you know, you just get into it and stuff like that. And just the way they set it up, like I will say maybe some parts were slightly slow, the way it was kind of set up, but nonetheless it still was a great like going through the few episodes, and then start getting more interesting and more you're getting more into it later on. You know, it's kind of slow in the beginning, but you know, it gets into it once it gets into it, you know. So I gotta say the acting was great. Like as far as like the sitcoms, like when it came into like the sitcom parts, the acting was great. They pretty much were like playing the parts, like they were pretty much playing how it was in those sitcoms throughout the decades, like in the 50s and the 60s, so on and so forth. They honestly were, it almost looks like they were like pretty much acting like it was in that decade, in that sitcom in that decade, which was pretty good. It was good acting on their part to be able to do that, from the characters and all that. And just the way the show was set up, like we didn't get we didn't really get like that high octane kind of action throughout the show. You know, we got a couple stuff here and there of action type, you know, mainly in like the last few episodes we got some stuff, but it was more, the series overall was more story based, like it was more story driven, character driven, you know, it wasn't depending on action or anything like that, like some other Marvel movies could have done. So it was more about the story, more about the characters and all that. And the way that we get the Wanda, where the series was pretty much her going through the different stages of grief. We got that throughout the series, where she was starting off with Vision not being alive, Vision being dead, with her grief and starting off the beginning. And then we get to the end of the series, where it's like each stage of grief, the different stages of grief we're getting throughout the series, like how she was overall handling everything and all that, you know. Like honestly, it was such a good acting on Elizabeth Olsen's part during all this whole series, and seeing her going through the different stages of grief. And it was such a good, honestly, like I like this series. It was pretty good. Little parts here and there, just a little nitpicking, but not too much, you know. Overall, the series was good. The show was good. I would say it was kind of interesting to see how the story progressed and how it folded out and all that. And of course, everybody, we all had theories, you know. I had theories, we all had theories going on, and not everything came true that we theorized, you know. A lot of people were saying different things. A lot of people were saying the same things to, you know, other people. Like a lot of people said the same things and theorized the same things and different things and all that too and stuff like that. But you know, not everything was like paid off in theories and all that. But you know, honestly, it was a good show, and it was interesting to see the development of Wanda's character mainly. You know, we get the development of Wanda's character, like how she went through different stages of grief, and then we get the final thing where she turns into the Scarlet Witch and all that. You know, we finally got the name drop of the Scarlet Witch in Marvel Cinematic Universe. We had never got it before, so we actually got it in the show. So she is officially, like, you know, the Scarlet Witch. You know, that's what she becomes. So the way we see that progression throughout the show and character development and stuff like that was pretty good, and seeing that and all that. And then also to just the overall payoff of what we might be able to see in future movies and stuff like that for her character. Will be interesting to see how her character develops in other projects that she'll be in, you know, movies and all that stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see for her character what the progression of that will be, and we'll see how that goes. So it'll be interesting to see her and other stuff and see how the progression of her character is. But overall, like I said, overall, for the most part, I did like the show. Just a couple things here and there, you know, but honestly, overall, the show was good. I like the way they did it. It was kind of a bold choice they did with like the sitcom stuff, you know. And honestly, I did like the sitcom stuff. It honestly was pretty good. I liked it for the most part. So I gotta give it up to Marvel for that bold choice and it paying off somewhat. For the most part, people liked it. Liked it, and just overall the story progression and all that. You know, it was interesting to see how that folded out and all that. So honestly, the show was not too bad. It was pretty good, and it'll be interesting to see what they do next. Definitely excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier to come out soon. Definitely will be checking that out, so I'm definitely excited for that. But other than that, I don't really have too much else to say about WandaVision. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the show, if you liked it or not, what you thought about it. Definitely like to hear from y'all. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoy. Remember, if you want to be a part of Team Legendary, all you got to do is subscribe and turn notifications on so you know when I post another video. Hope y'all all have an awesome day. And remember, be legendary.